Working out the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? Materialism. Is it to become rich, famous and beautiful? To own all that you desire and to want for nothing? To relent to the ubiquity of consumerism, materialistic elixirs and greed? No, these man-made impetuses are the antithesis of meaning. They are corrupting to civility and happiness, let alone meaning. Escapism. So perhaps freeing ourselves from these exploitations will provide the meaning we strive for. Relinquishing our basic comforts, the burdens of capitalistic distraction and the chains of social compliance. No, unfortunately, disavowing your iPhone and selling your car will do nothing to bring existential meaning, no matter how virtuous your intentions. Appreciate. You may then look to conjure meaning within nature and the splendour of your environment, such as gazing upon a sunset, appreciating a piece of music, or looking up to the majesty of the stars. But no, this too would be naive. You would be conflating meaning with basic feelings of wonderment and contentment. Mountains, however beautiful, cannot provide you with purpose. They are rock. Nicety. Meaning must therefore transcend a whimsical appreciation of environment to something more inherent. Perhaps meaning emerges from how you act in life and how you treat others. To actively pursue a path of moral goodness. No, however noble your perceived virtue, you cannot escape your subjectivity nor your fallibility. Righteousness is a chronically unreliable and distorting mantle to place truth or meaning. Idealism. But surely a pursuit to end world suffering, treating others as you would have them treat you, and living in balance with nature is a meaning that transcends this subjectivity. Whilst a worthy aspiration, it is antithetical to every conceivable notion of reality. A reality that clearly sees no problem with advantage being gained by callous disadvantage. Why would subjective kindness be the meaning when comprised within an overwhelmingly morally impassive universe? Necessity. If altruism is not the meaning, then perhaps our own self-sufficiency and our own self-preservation is. Simply to personally prevail over life's challenges and threats. This is the concrete and overt impetus at the core of all life. To be born and to avoid death. But it's a meaning consumed by futility, as it will always ultimately end in failure. You'd be no closer to the meaning of life in your 100th year as you would be on your first day. Generation. If our personal meaning is curtailed by the finality of our lives, perhaps having children provides the meaning. Seeing your newborn baby, raising and protecting them with an unparalleled love and purpose that dwarfs any other considerations. Whilst noble and truly profound, it offers little more than a satiation of your programming and a direct compulsion of the evolutionary process. You are duplicating the burden of meaning, you are not resolving your own. Spirit. If meaning seemingly cannot be derived from our physical existence, neither by avoiding death, staying alive, or subjective inclination, then meaning must transcend the confines of mortality. If not the pseudo-immortality garnered by children, perhaps something spiritual and transcendent, a soul that ascends to a high consciousness depending on how we live. A mystical energy that reincarnates over and over until a perfect state of enlightenment is reached. No, even if it didn't reside wholly within our imagination, your next ethereal incarnation would be so divorced from you that it would be meaningless to associate them. It provides hope, but not meaning. God. Then God is the meaning, the creator of this existential conundrum. Something so powerful and pure that it goes beyond our ability to ever find fault. The manifestation of ultimate and divine purpose. But no, there are overt flaws in the meaning that God presents. It would be the God's perfection that would discount it. Its omniscience would corrode and corrupt any possibility of our worship, acceptance, choice or meaning. Every word spoken being penned by the God's omniscience before time existed, every choice being the preordained consequence of its plan. Plans that comprise of the obvious fated protestations of free will. To destine being in heaven with an omniscient God can't be the meaning, when this has already been decided, and you are incapable of redressing it by virtue of existing. To not be the case would prove God wrong, a liar or a figment. Happiness. No matter how diminished the presentation of meaning seemingly becomes, whether aesthetic, evolutionary or spiritual, can we not live simply to seek pleasure in the present? That is surely the meaning, something obvious and tangible that even a child understands. Choosing to do what makes us happy and avoiding those things that don't. Being the architects of our happiness and providing for ourselves the motivation, whether profound or otherwise, to get out of bed in the morning. But again, no, we are far from being the architects of our lives. The deterministic nature of existence is just as prescriptive as a fabricated omniscience. Our decisions are not choices, but are prescribed manifestations of everything that came before them. Every single atom within existence being at the mercy of causation, every existential element being precisely coded with character. A universe constructed on the impossibility of randomness and not linearity would do no better, and would also only succeed in dissolving meaningful precedent to our choices. Superiority. But surely we have meaning because we are humans. We clearly have more meaning than the other animals on our planet. We are more than them, distinct and special in our ability to appreciate existence, and to understand our environment at the very least. But no, our inability to deviate from the universe's course also entirely invalidates any special pleading we may give to our intellect. In essence, all of life is doing exactly as we are. Our intellects perhaps only aiding us to record our inevitable voyage through existence with greater resolution. We are all part of the same game. It is this predictably anthropocentric display of arrogance that biases humanity's own worth to this discussion. There is no such thing as special matter, i.e. matter reserved only to constitute humans. There is just matter. Cycle. It is the meaning of our lives, therefore, simply for us to feed the soil, matter being broken down, converted, reorganised, under duress submitting to our roles within an entropic universe. Whilst that certainly is a role, it is not our meaning. It is more a prescribed manifestation of a game that we're incapable of influencing or escaping from. It certainly can't be won. So where does meaning fit into life, when all avenues appear corrupted when looked at critically? Experience. If our meaning is conceivably possible to work out, then it can only be for one purpose: to experience it. Simply that. But not in the way that most would interpret it. Not as a place of uninhibited interaction and excited exploration, but as a confined, linear experience that offers all of the pretense of being so much more. Sitting within your body, as it is passed from one moment of life to the scripted next, just as a train passes down its track. We are handed our bodies and their correlated journeys, and we experience through them, with all of the compelling delusions of control and volition. You. But it's lazy to assume that everybody's being propelled along the track. It need only be you. A secluded passenger through experience, with others being convincing material extras. No matter how many profound discussions you have, or loving embraces you feel, or even others' brain scans you view, can forego the possibility that existence is simply aiming to convince you of itself. Everyone and everything simply encircling the constructs of your thoughts, existing only when it needs to exist. Whatever meaning or purpose we may glean, it may truly only be yours. The question, what is the meaning of life, presupposes that there is a meaning, that there is a profound purpose to existence and our existences. There need not be. If the meaning of life goes beyond the thoughts and words in this video, and beyond any conceivable notion of our ability to ever understand it, or control it, or contribute to it, then it is bereft of worthwhile meaning. But does meaning need to be so objective? If you win money, you'll be happy. If you turn off your phone, you'll relax. When you look up on a clear night, you'll be awestruck. If you choose to act charitably, you'll feel fulfilled. If you aspire for a more equal and civil world, you'll bring it closer. If you withstand all of life's daily challenges, you are a success. And if you have a child, you will love and support them above all else. Perhaps, as nothing more than a human construct, meaning emerges from the meaningless.